Okay, we are home from language school and from the grocery store. I have been away all weekend on a business retreat in the beautiful town of Flims, which I will tell you more about later. What I want to do is pop all these things away in the fridge, and then I wanted to get to the must-see things to do, places to go when you're in Switzerland in spring and summer. So let me put this away and then we can get to that next. Okay, let's discuss where to go, what to do, what to see when you are next in Switzerland in spring, summer specifically. If we're chatting winter, that's a whole different video, which I will have to create with a lot of ski recommendations. But for now, if you're coming in summer, here are my favorite places to hang out, my favorite things to do and see, and if we have similar tastes, these might be of interest to you. So I made a quick list. I'm gonna start assuming that you are coming into Zurich because Zurich is the main largest airport and it's also a fantastic airport. So we'll start from Zurich and then we will go basically south into the country. So the first thing, if you want to stay in Zurich, my favorite hotel is actually not in the city. It's along one of the coasts, the silver coast of the lake. It is called Hotel Alex, though actually I just realized there's two Hotel Alexes in Zurich, which can be confusing. It's Alex Lake Zurich. It is on the coast in an area called Tallville. It is a gorgeous, beautiful hotel. They also have an incredible restaurant. They have a masseuse, and she is heaven on earth. There's a lot of massage and spa recommendations in this list if that's something you're into. Anyways, Hotel Alex, beautiful place to stay, would recommend. If you want something to do within the city, if you want to go to the restaurants of restaurants, the Borolac is a hotel and a restaurant, Boars, and it has gorgeous English style interiors. We were actually chatting to them about the interiors when we were there recently, and I was saying how much I love the interiors. They said they had an English interior designer come do it, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. For something to do while you're in Zurich, of course there is shopping. So obviously Bahnhofstrasse is the street which goes from the Hauptbahnhof, that is the main train station, basically towards the lake, and then you have all of the luxury shops around along that road. There is also, if you're looking for a department store where you just go see a bunch of stuff all in one place and not have to go into 20 million different little stores, then Globus is the largest department store in the city. The other thing which is fabulous to do in summer is obviously the lake. If you go on a weekend and it is sunny, or even sometimes during the week, it is basically guaranteed to be very, very busy. So if you want to avoid the crowds, go at off times, or alternatively, something which I love to do, we just did it the other day actually. We rented a boat from Bootsvermietung Enge, that's Zurich Enge area, again on the Silver Coast side of the lake, that is the west side of the lake. It's very close to the city center. All of these things are very walkable. Hotel Alex is not a walkable place, but the train can take you very easily in and out, and I think they also actually, Hotel Alex has a boat which will take you into the city and back. But regardless, coming back to the boat rental, you can rent paddle boats, you can rent electric boats if you don't have a Swiss boating license, which we just did the other day, so you can take it out into the middle of the lake and then hop in from there and go swimming from there. They also have sauna boats, which can be really fun, probably more of a like off-season or winter, fall, spring thing when it's a little bit chilly. They can go in your sauna boat and they can hop into the lake and then back again. That's also something really fun to do. Then the next thing you're likely to do on a summer trip to Switzerland is to head towards direction of Lucerne. Lucerne is a beautiful historic town. They have a very famous old bridge, which I've shown in a previous video actually. Yeah, there's a fair amount of tourists there for sure, specifically looking at the old bridge, but it is a beautiful old town and it is worth a visit. It is on another lake. I feel like every city here is basically on a lake. It is on Vielbadstättersee or Lake Lucerne, and the town is adorable. There's again many beautiful shops that you can go take a poke into. It's beautiful to walk along the lake. There's also a very popular thing to do. You take the boat from the town city center of Lucerne across to the town of Witznau. There's a ferry boat that goes. The ride is about 1 hour long to take it across. You could also, if you have a car and you've rented a car, you can also just drive over, and there's a few different places that you can start from then. But anyways, regardless, the Rigi is extremely famous. It has, speaking of spas, another spa on top of the mountain. It's a beautiful area to go for a walk or for a hike. There is an old, authentic cheese making dairy up there. There's a few very sweet, adorable little chalets and huts that you can eat at. Bring cash, And don't bring dietary restrictions to that, because one time my family and I, we specifically went up there, and I forget what the name of the little chalet was. It was absolutely tiny. It was run by this very sweet husband and wife who only took cash, and there was literally one thing on the menu, and it tasted incredible, and I had no idea what I was eating, but it was fantastic. But it's literally, there's one thing on the menu. Granted, if you want something a bit more, you know, dietary restriction friendly or a bit more variety, there are also other larger restaurants up there. Not quite as cozy and atmospheric, but still something if you want it. So you could hike all the way down the mountain, you could hike partway down the mountain. There's basically a train that goes up and down the mountain, and you can hop on at any of the stops basically. So that is something very common to do. I would give yourself probably an entire day to get from Lucerne, take the boat, go up the mountain, enjoy the views, try to go on a day where it's not cloudy, obviously, otherwise you won't be able to see so much from the top. In terms of while you were in Lucerne or staying in Lucerne, I have personally stayed at, which I don't normally stay at hotels around here because I live here, but I did actually stay at the Art Deco Hotel Montana in Lucerne, just on the lake, or just a little bit up from the lake. Incredible views, beautiful decor, lovely hotel, wonderful staff. And also a little bit further down, there is the Mandarin Oriental, which I went to for a massage once, and that was heaven. So I would definitely recommend them for a massage if you're looking to do that. Both of those hotels do have lovely restaurants and bars. So if you're looking just to go for a meal or for a drink, both of those places are also fabulous to head to. And something which was a new find for us when we had some friends visiting from Canada, actually. We were looking in the area for something new to do to show our tourists and guests. And we found Megenhorn Schloss. And this is also on the same, it's not in Lucerne, it's a little bit outside. It is a beautiful castle. There's not really a lot of castles here. It was built later, but regardless, if you want castle vibes, this is castle vibes. It is a gorgeous just place to go tourist and visit and see the actual like historic building. It has a wine hill going down to the water. You can walk down to the water from there. And it also has the world's most heavenly. It is a little cafe, so picturesque, so beautiful, with the world's most incredible terrace and view onto the lake. Basically everywhere here, there's like incredible views onto a lake, if that's your thing. I was actually thinking of taking you there today, but I realized that it's closed on Monday. And so I can't take you there today. So in some other video in future, I'm sure I will take you there. Sometimes I like to go there and work from there. I think as you get into higher tourist season in the summer, it's open more frequently, but just search for the Megenhorn Schloss Cafe and you can see the details of the opening dates and times on Google Maps. But right now, it's only open on the weekend. The other place which I love to go, and one of our favorite places to take guests, is to the hotel restaurant Seehof on Vielbadstätte See in the town of Küsnacht. That's Canton Schwyz. There's a lot of Küsnachts in all over Switzerland in different cantons. This is Canton Schwyz. Again, a little bit, maybe like a 20-minute drive outside of Lucerne. Just, it's a lovely hotel. They have a restaurant and beer garden directly on the water. That is one of our favorite places to pop a paddleboard in the lake and then go for a swim from there as well. It has an incredibly stunning view. Basically, as you get closer to the mountains, the views get more and more incredible. So Zurich has incredible views of mountains, but as we get closer, like going into Canton Schwyz, going to Lucerne, they get even better. The one place I would probably avoid is the town of Interlaken. So Interlaken, it just feels very touristy at this point. Like it's really catering to the tourists. There's literally 12 Indian restaurants and a Hooters. So I think that probably tells you all you need to know. It is very dedicated and geared towards the tourists. And so if you want something super authentic and Swiss, I would actually suggest skipping Interlaken, even though I know that's very popular of a recommendation when it comes to visiting Switzerland. The other place which I would definitely go to, which I was just at on the weekend specifically, is the town of Flims. So this is a ski area. If you are going skiing in the winter, it's a fantastic ski area to take if you're bringing beginners or if you're just learning how to ski. The ski area is called Flims Laks, and they have another lovely hotel there called the Schweizerhof Romantic Hotel Flims, I think it is. I've stayed at this a number of times. They have a beautiful spa, which I will show you some clips of. And they also do a lot of sort of like wellness trips and weekends. They have quite a few retreats. While we were there this past weekend, there was a tango dancing retreat, I think, happening. There was also a yoga retreat happening, and then myself and some friends, we were hosting a business retreat there. So if you do want to host a retreat in the area, or if you just want an incredibly beautiful hotel to go to, then that is a fantastic one. In the summer, obviously hiking, and there's also a lot of mountain biking happening in that area as well. Those are the things to do in the area. And of course, in the winter, the skiing is lovely too. Then the other place that I would definitely put on my must go to list is Gstaad. It is such a gorgeous area, just nature-wise, which I think is not what it's known for, but it is also beautiful for that. It is very much so known for high-end shopping, fantastic, highly entertaining people watching. It is a beautiful area. My favorite hotel there is actually not the main one, which everyone knows of and thinks of. It's actually Hotel Bellevue. I again did a different video where I stayed at that hotel. It is just gorgeous, beautiful interiors, right, like a perfect walking distance into the town itself. So you can go see and do your shopping and people watching and all those things. Gstaad, I would actually say, is a place I would rather go to a little bit more in summer. We have gone skiing there in winter, but it's actually not the highest elevation. So the snow assurity and quality isn't quite as good as you get in some other places. So that's actually why I would personally prefer to go in summer. And then the final place on my list, this is one which my husband just told me about the other day. And I took a look at the photos and I was like, yes, this looks incredible. So when we lived in London, there was one weekend that we just were looking for something to do. We headed out to Richmond Park, and I forget what it is called within Richmond Park, but there is this unbelievable, I need to Google this, what is the name? Isabella Plantation inside of Richmond Park. We were so lucky. We just went on the perfect weekend where all the rhododendron were in bloom, and it literally felt like you stepped into heaven. There is another park quite close to here called Siegler Moor, and it looks from the photos like a very similar thing. And so I'm excited to take you there, and we can go see how it compares to Isabella Plantation in the UK. We have made it to Park Siegler Moor. This is about 30 to 40 minutes outside of Zurich. And the best time to come here is probably spring because it is in bloom and absolutely beautiful. It's not too large. You would probably want to spend a couple of hours here. There's also a little ice cream spot and a place to buy some plants if you're more local to the area. And, ooh, let me show you this. Okay, a few hours later, we are back from Siegler Moor. That was just as incredible as Isabella Plantation. It was lovely. I would expect to spend a few hours there, maybe like 2 to 3, especially if you want to have lunch. They do have some options for food there. There is, again, a garden center. There's just wandering around the place, which is absolutely delightful. You could bring a book and just sit in the world's most beautiful garden and read if you want to. Anyways, again, that's about 30 to 40 minutes outside of Zurich. If you are very into flowers and gardening, then that would be the right place for you to visit. But anyways, I just got home and a very exciting delivery came in. These are my paint samples, which I ordered. I'm going to paint this room and I'm very undecided as to which, well, no, I've narrowed it down to a color. It's going to be some form of green, but still within that, there's 12,000 greens. So we have a bunch of little cute adorable samples from Farrow and Ball. If you watched the last video, I actually went and you can take the room and you can upload your photo and then it will apply the paint sample color to the room. But I don't know how accurate it is. I feel like it's not quite there. So what we're going to do, paint these onto sample cards and then paste them up all over the room. I would love and appreciate your opinion on which one you like the best. I will tell you which one each is. It is getting darker now, so we're gonna see this in some moodier lighting, and then I'll come back and look at it again like tomorrow and throughout the day in different light, and then we will actually make a decision because color can look very, very different in different situations. So anyways, the most important thing is that we find something which complements the trim, because I am not painting the trim. That is quite the project and not something I'm expert enough to do or have any interest in spending that much time doing. So anyways, needs to make sure that it fits and complements the trim. It's a beigey color. So yeah, let's get started. Okie dokes, it is the next morning. I had to paint a second coat and then we quickly went for a walk last night. Also, they looked very, very, very dark in, when it was nighttime last night. So, figured I'd show them to you this morning. I would love to hear in the comments what your opinions are. I will walk through them with you. So our first option that we have is French gray. Oh, it's fascinating. Actually, in my camera, it looks so different than in real life. Man, they look so much darker in the camera. This just goes to show you how important it is to actually stick it on your wall, because when I uploaded the photos and used like the tester thing on the Farrow and Ball website, they look different. Now looking at them through my camera, they look different than in real life. Anyways, hopefully you get the idea. I'm thinking personally what I know that I want and don't want. I don't want the color to be the standout thing in the room. In every room you want some sort of like focal something or other, and the color is not the most important thing to me here. I wanted to add character, I wanted to add a bit of life, I wanted to add, you know, something other than white and beige. But I feel like for me, the top right and the bottom left are too much of a showstopper, if that makes sense. What I am liking, I do like top left, bottom right. They are the lighter options. The one in the bottom right is has a bit more blue undertones to it. Top left is truly like, it looks like a gray, a slightly greeny gray, which I do like. I feel like they actually all work well with the trim color, so that's good news. The other one which my husband said he loved was the left middle option, the lichen color. That one definitely is bringing in a lot more of the green, but still in this muted way, so it's not too intense. When I think about what I wanted for this room, I want something peaceful. And I also have had a bedroom in the past, which was painted a very, very, very dark color. And I have never slept more or taken more naps in my entire life than that one time in university. I lived in that room. And so I mean, absolutely, if you have too much intensity, also because this room does not get a ton of light, that could be a problem. So anyways, I think my three favorites are either top left, bottom right, or left middle. Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions of what you feel like fits best for the space. I'm going to probably take down the ones which I feel like are a no, and then take the other ones and hold them around to like the different pieces. I feel like the other thing which is very important is that you pair it to anything that is definitely staying. For example, our headboard. The headboard is a beautiful custom upholstered piece that we definitely want to keep. So holding those up to there. Maybe let's do that now. Actually, I'm curious. Here they are with the headboard. I'm actually going to remove the pillows because, to be honest, pillows are something that can be easily swapped and changed. The headboard's the important thing. That's the thing that's actually for sure staying. I do feel like the middle one might have a bit too much like similarity to the headboard, potentially. That's the blue gray. The French gray on the left, that definitely has some contrast, which I like. And then lichen on the right, definitely different. So, yeah, because I definitely don't want everything to just like feel and look the exact same. That would not be ideal. That would make for a very boring room. So yeah, tell me your thoughts in the comments. Now, because you made it all the way to the end of the video, I can tell that maybe some home and interiors content is also of interest to you. And if that's the case, you're gonna love another video which I made. I watched Joanna Gaines's masterclass and then put together a video of all my top tips and takeaways from it. So do be sure to watch that one next. I will link it right over here for you. And thank you so much for joining me.